Hello and welcome. Today you will hear a touching story about a mother's quiet love and endless sacrifice. Listen carefully to practice your English skills and to feel the deep meaning behind these simple words. My name is Tom, and this is the true story of my life. Last night I sat alone in my room, looking at an old picture on the wall. It showed my mother and me. I was a small boy in that photo. My mother had a big smile. I looked happy too. I closed my eyes and thought about her. Many memories came to me. Some were good, some were bad. My heart felt warm, but also a bit sad. When I was a child, my mother did everything for me. She cooked my meals. She washed my clothes. She helped me with homework. She walked me to school. She stayed with me when I was sick. She worked hard every day, but I did not see how much she loved me. I did not thank her enough. I thought she would always be there. I thought it was her job to care for me. I was wrong. One day I came home late. My mother was waiting. She looked worried. She asked, "Where were you?" I said, "With my friends." She said, "Next time tell me." I got angry. I said, "Stop asking me questions. I'm not a baby." I saw her face change. She looked hurt, but she didn't yell. She just said, "Okay." That night she still made me dinner. She still kissed me goodnight. Her love did not change. I remember the day I failed a big test. I was scared to go home. I thought she would be angry, but she did not shout. She sat with me. She said, "It's okay. Try again next time." She smiled and hugged me. Her hugs were warm. They made me feel safe. I didn't say it then, but now I want to say it. She made me strong. She made me feel loved. Sometimes I spoke badly to her. I said she didn't understand me. I said she didn't care. But that was not true. She always cared. She stayed up late when I had problems. She listened when I needed to talk. She cried when I was sad. She laughed when I was happy. Her heart was always full of love. But I was too young to see it. There was a time I wanted to leave home. I wanted to live alone. I thought I didn't need anyone. I packed my bag. I opened the door. My mother stood there. She didn't stop me. She just said, "If you go, take a jacket. It might be cold." That small sentence broke my heart. I saw her eyes. They were full of love, but she let me go. She trusted me, and that trust brought me back home. I remember the day she was sick. She had a fever and was very tired, but she still got up. She made me breakfast. I told her to rest. She said, "Mothers don't rest." I didn't understand her words then, but now I do. A mother's heart is always working. Even when she is tired, even when she hurts, her love is stronger than anything. Now that I am older, I see everything. I see how strong she was. I see how kind she was. I see how much she gave me. I want to go back and say sorry. I want to go back and say thank you. But I cannot change the past. So now I try to do better. I try to love her the way she loved me. I try to speak kind words. I try to help her more. I know I made mistakes. I know I hurt her feelings sometimes, but she never stopped loving me. She never turned away from me. Her heart was big. Her hands were always open. Her smile was always there for me. And now when I look at that old picture, I feel her love. I feel her in every memory. And I tell myself, I am lucky. I have a mother like her. Every day I try to be more like her. I try to be strong. I try to be kind. I try to love without asking for anything back, because that is what she taught me. Not with words, but with actions, with small things, with quiet care, with big love. One morning I woke up late. I missed the school bus. I was afraid to tell my mother, but when I went to the kitchen, she was smiling. She said, "It's okay, I'll take you." I thought she would be angry, but she wasn't. She drove me to school in her old car. On the way, she told me a funny story. I laughed, and she laughed too. That small moment stayed in my heart for years. I remember the time I broke a glass in the kitchen. I was 9 years old. I thought she would be mad. I tried to hide it, but she saw it. She asked, "Did you break this?" I said, "No." She looked at me and stayed quiet. Later I felt bad and told her the truth. She smiled and said, "Thank you for telling me." She didn't punish me. She taught me honesty with love. In high school, I wanted to be cool. I did not want to be seen with my mother. One day, she came to school to give me my lunch. I saw her from far away and walked the other way. I did not want my friends to see me with her. That night, she did not say anything. She just asked, "Did you eat today?" I said, "Yes." She smiled and went to bed. I still remember that her love was quiet, but it was deep. I remember when I got my first job. I was so proud. I bought her a small gift with my first money. She looked at it and smiled. She said, "You didn't need to buy anything." But I saw tears in her eyes. She hugged me for a long time. That hug felt different. It was full of pride and love. I felt like I finally gave something back to her. That moment meant a lot to both of us. Sometimes she sat alone in the living room. She looked at old pictures or drank tea quietly. I never asked what was on her mind. I was busy with my own world. But now I wonder, did she miss her own family? Did she feel alone? She always smiled, but maybe she was tired. Maybe she needed someone to ask, "Are you okay?" I wish I had asked her more. I wish I had listened better. Now, when I visit her, I see her hair turning grey. Her hands move slower, but her heart is still the same. She still waits for me at the door. She still makes my favorite food. She still asks, "Did you sleep well?" I try to do better now. I try to show love like she did. I sit with her. I listen to her stories. I hold her hand because now I see that a mother's love never ends, and I want to give it back while I still can. I remember my school days clearly. I often needed help with my homework after dinner. My mother sat beside me every night, even when she was tired. Sometimes she didn't know the answers, but she never gave up and always tried. She asked her friends or checked old books. She wanted me to learn and feel confident. Once I wanted a new toy I saw in a store. It was bright and played music when it moved. My mother said we didn't have enough money that month. I got angry and didn't talk to her for days. A few nights later, she gave me the toy. I was happy, but I didn't know how hard she worked for it. There was a day I came home from school after a fight. My shirt was dirty, and I had a bruise on my arm. I thought she would yell at me, but she held my hand and asked, "Are you okay, my son?" She listened to me and gave kind advice. She said, "Be strong, but don't hurt others." Every night she made dinner and waited for me at the table. Sometimes I was late, but she never ate before I came home. She said, "I want us to eat together as a family." I didn't understand why then, because I was still a child. But now I know it was her quiet way of loving me. She never bought new clothes for herself, even in winter. Her shoes were old, and her coat had small holes. But I always had warm jackets and clean shoes for school. I asked her once why she didn't buy new things for herself. She smiled and said, "Because you need them more than I do." She loved her small garden with flowers and green plants. Every morning she watered them and checked each one. She smiled when they grew tall and healthy. I never helped her because I thought flowers were boring. Now I grow flowers too and think of her hands in the soil. When I was sick, she stayed next to me all night without sleeping. She touched my forehead, gave me soup, and spoke softly. I never saw how tired she was, or the worry in her eyes. She just said, "You will feel better soon. Don't worry." I didn't understand her pain back then, but now I do. Sometimes she sang while she cleaned the house or cooked food. Her voice was soft, and her songs were slow and sweet. She sang old songs from her childhood that I did not know. I didn't care much then and didn't listen well, but now I remember the sound of her voice. It was warm, gentle, and peaceful. When I think about mornings at home, I see her in the kitchen. She woke up before everyone else to make breakfast. The smell of bread and tea filled the house. She moved quietly so we could sleep more. I never said thank you for those mornings. I just ate and went to school. But now I miss those peaceful mornings with her love in every meal. I remember rainy days when I forgot my umbrella. She waited at the school gate with one in her hand. Her own clothes were wet, but she smiled at me. I used to feel embarrassed in front of my friends. I never told her how much it meant to me, She never asked for thanks. Her love was there, even in the rain. At night, I often watched TV while she worked. She washed dishes, folded clothes, and cleaned the floor. I never offered to help. I thought it was her job, but now I feel guilty. She never rested, but she never complained. Her hands did everything for the home. Her love showed in every small thing she did. One day I got a bad grade in math. I was scared to show her, but she looked at the paper and said, "It's okay. We will try again." She didn't get mad. She sat with me every night after that. She made me believe I could get better. That patience helped me more than any teacher. She never went on trips or bought fun things. When I asked her why, she said, "Maybe next year." But next year never came for her. She always gave her time and money to us. I didn't understand it then, but now I do. She gave up many dreams for our future. One winter I had a fever for days. She stayed by my side all night, holding my hand. She did not sleep. She hardly ate. I remember opening my eyes and seeing her there. Her face looked tired, but she smiled. I felt safe with her there. That smile gave me strength. On my birthday, she always made a cake by hand. It wasn't big, but it was made with love. She decorated it with simple things from the kitchen. I didn't care about it then. I wanted toys, not cake. But now I remember the taste. It was soft, sweet, and full of her care. Sometimes she sat by the window and looked outside. I never asked what she was thinking. I was busy with my phone or schoolwork. Now I wish I had talked with her more. Maybe she had stories to tell. Maybe she had dreams of her own. But she stayed silent and gave all her time to us instead. I remember the day I left for college. She packed my bag with care. She put in warm clothes, snacks, and a small note. "Mana, take care. I believe in you." I smiled but did not say much. I was excited to leave and be free, but now I see how hard that goodbye was for her. She stood at the door with a smile, but her heart was hurting inside. In college, I did not call her much. She waited every night by the phone. Sometimes she called me, and I answered fast. "I'm busy," I said. She just said, "Okay, I only wanted to hear your voice." I did not understand then, but now I know how a mother waits to hear her child's voice, even for 1 minute. When I came home on holidays, she made all my favorite foods. She cleaned my room and washed my clothes. She asked about my life, but I did not share much. I told her everything was fine. I didn't see the worry in her eyes. Now I wish I had told her more. She only wanted to know me, not to control, but to care. She always prayed before bed. I heard her soft voice at night. Sometimes she said my name in her prayers. I once laughed and told her, "You don't need to worry so much." She smiled and answered, "A mother never stops worrying." Now I understand those words. Her love followed me in silence. One evening I saw her looking at old photos. She held a baby picture of me. Her eyes were full of memories. I walked away thinking it was silly, but now I do the same. I look at old pictures and feel the same pain, the same love. Time passes fast, but her love stayed with me. After college, I got a job in another city. I called her sometimes, but not every day. She always answered with happiness. Her voice was full of life. Even if she felt tired, she did not say it. She only said, "I am happy if you are happy." I never asked how she really felt. I regret that now. One time I forgot her birthday. I was busy with work and friends. She called that night, and I still did not remember. She did not say anything. She only asked, "How was your day?" Later I found out she had waited all day for my call. I cried when I remembered. Her love was quiet, never asking, always giving. Every time I left home, she stood at the gate. She waved until I was gone. I used to smile and forget it. But now that picture stays in my heart, her eyes full of love, her hands waving with hope. She did not want to stop me. She just wanted me to know I was loved. Now I sit alone and think of all those years. I see her face in my memories, smiling, tired, and kind. I think about the times I ignored her voice, the times I chose my friends instead, the moments I was unkind, But she never stopped loving me. She never turned away. Her love stayed strong through all my mistakes. I wish I had seen her heart more clearly when I was younger. Sometimes I dream of walking into the kitchen and seeing her again. She would be wearing her old apron, making tea, and singing softly. I would just sit and watch her, feeling peace. I would say thank you, not for one thing, but for everything. Thank you for the food, the love, the care, the nights you stayed awake, and the days you gave up your rest. I understand now that her life was full of giving. She gave me her time, her strength, her dreams. She never asked for anything back. She didn't want gifts or praise. She only wanted me to be happy, safe, and strong. I used to think love was big words or special days, but her love was in the small things. The warm meals, the clean clothes, the quiet waiting. There were so many things I never asked her. What did she want when she was young? What made her smile as a girl? What dreams did she leave behind while raising me? I was too busy with my own world to ask, and she never spoke about herself. Her world was always about others, but now I wish I could sit with her and hear her stories. As I grow older, I understand her more. I see her in the way I care for others. I hear her words when I speak to children. Her patience is my goal now. Her kindness is my path. I try to live in a way that would make her proud. I try to carry her love in all I do. She may not be close, but her spirit stays with me every day. When I feel lost or tired, I remember her voice, soft but strong. I remember how she made me feel better without saying much. Just a touch, just a smile, and the world felt right again. Her love was quiet, but it was the strongest love I ever knew. It gave me everything I needed to become who I am today. So now I say to every son and daughter, look at your mother, listen to her, help her, talk to her. Do not wait for years to understand her love. Say thank you now, not later. Give her your time, your care, and your respect, because one day you will look back like me and see that everything she did was out of deep and endless love. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and subscribe for more inspiring and emotional stories to help you learn English. Leave a comment to share your thoughts and keep practicing every day. See you next time.